The sun is up and the sky is blue. Good day, humans. I have been feeling the scorching heat of the sun when I go out or even just stay inside our house. Are you feeling it too? If only a cold spring resort is just a short walk away, I'll go there to spend my whole day and be back home once the sun goes down. Yet it's not the case. We have to endure the ongoing effects of climate change, and one of them is global warming. I am Charlene Jane Mbala, and I just can't let the day pass without sharing with you one of the very crucial actions we can do to prevent the sultry heat from the sun from becoming unbearable to all living things on Earth. Allow me to present to you, or to introduce to you, the reforestation. Before I begin my discussion, this presentation begins with the definition of reforestation, then goals of reforestation, types of reforestation, how to carry out reforestation, and problems of reforestation, and concludes with my report conclusion. The clock is ticking, the time ain't stopping. Let me now begin. Reforestation is the natural or purposeful replenishment of depleted forests and woods, usually as a result of deforestation. Reforestation can be utilized to improve human lives by absorbing pollution and dust from the air, rebuilding natural habitats and ecosystems, mitigating global warming by facilitating atmospheric carbon dioxide biosequestration, and harvesting for resources, particularly lumber. So that is reforestation. Reforestation, therefore, is the way of achieving an array of objectives, all of which seek to restore the stability offered by forests. First, it restores lost biodiversity. The destruction of forests leads to endangering or worse extinction of tree species, such as the 80% of amphibians, 75% of birds, and 68% of mammals. Thus, through reforestation, we can protect their home as well as biodiversity is restored. Next, it reduces the amount of carbon dioxide in the air. Our forests act as carbon sinks and are critical for preventing climate change. Without them, the planet's average temperature would continue to rise, as well as sea levels. Among other climate effects, glaciers and polar ice caps will continue to melt. In addition, it reverses soil erosion and restores water basins. Eroded barren soil is unfit for farming and prone to landslides and flash flooding. By keeping soil fertility and deep roots, reforestation can help to ease this problem, which is aggravated by unmanaged tree removal. When the nutrients in water basins are restored, they come back to life. Most importantly is protecting human health. As forests decline without sufficient regeneration, human vulnerability to zoonotic diseases grows. Thus, virus illnesses can be averted through reforestation. Human health would not be jeopardized. Moreover, let's proceed to types of reforestation. Depending on the area planted, there are two types of reforestation. First is the urban reforestation, next is the rural reforestation. So, reforestation in cities or urban reforestation, in developed areas, this is tree planting. The goal is to change the climate, as green zones are beneficial for combating the heat, improve air quality, as high traffic in cities raises carbon dioxide levels, create more shaded spaces, or improve the environment's look. Next is the rural reforestation. So huge quantities of trees are planted in deforested areas, which were once forests, jungles, or semi-arid vegetation. Forests can also be planted in previously unforested areas. However, the precise term for this is forestation. Now, how to carry out reforestation. So, reforestation isn't randomly planting trees. So, here are some of the factors to consider in planning reforestation. First factor should be site study. First and foremost, the land must be examined and the conditions of the area verified, from the soil, depth, texture, fertility, to the climate, dry or wet season, moisture must be present. and the type of local fauna and flora that live in the ecosystem. Second factor is to choose which species to plant. It is preferable to plant native species, but fast-growing species that are compatible with the soil and climate are also acceptable. It is critical to have high quality forest germplasm, and the nursery of origin should ideally be no more than 100 kilometers away. It is also critical to consider how and when the trees are transported in order to avoid the heat of the sun and strong winds. Thirdly, choose a planting method. Prepare the soil first, then choose the correct instruments and the least invasive procedure. Each new plant's height and coverage must be examined so that they do not conflict with one another. The planting must contain a follow-up plan in addition to the forest germplasm. Last but not the least, establish a protection plan. Disease, infestation, fire, and illegal logging are just a few of the dangers that must be addressed in the follow-up strategy. The reforestation must be maintained and assessed in order to be successful. Apparently, there are also problems with reforestation. According to the FAO's Global Forest Resource Assessment 2020, there are management plans in place for more than 20 billion hectares of forests around the world. When it comes to restoring or starting to recreate a forest, preparing rules for proper forest operation is the critical first step because difficulties might develop in any process. If reforestation is done in the spur of the moment without a clear implementation plan, it can be counterproductive and harmful to species variety and agricultural products. Large forest crops can have the reverse impact, drying up and impoverishing the soil due to high saline levels. Next, the improper tree, as well as the method of planting and positioning it, might all have detrimental consequences. Furthermore, the introduction of invasive species may result in the extinction of other species. Reforestation that is not well planned may result in a monoculture, which impacts not only the diversity of the indigenous flora but also the habitats of the various forest species. All in all, reforestation is one of the most effective strategies for combating climate change. It won't be simple and it will take a lot of hard work and effort, but it will be well worth it if every reforestation is successful. Nevertheless, we must be responsible global citizens who care for our planet in order for our children to inherit a better and brighter future. Thank you for listening and God bless.